Hey guys, this is Josh Gasterotis here at FunderHunt for your daily recap. We feel like, we feel like there's added value in sharing our trials and tribulations, not just our successes, which, fortunately we have in abundance. And we're very grateful, we're very grateful for all you guys. But, we're talking about trials and tribulations. And so tonight we're going to talk about how we interact with our employees and our coworkers. And I think that, today's takeaway was that, it's incredibly important when
what happened when you're referring to coworkers? What are you referring to? What happened today?
So today, we had a meeting with one of our co-founders who has, decided to kind of split in a way. And, I feel bad. I feel like, we lost an asset, for sure. And I think that, when you are in business, business is all about money, right? But business is also all about people. And it's very important to, be compassionate and be empathetic and, understand where other people are coming from and, measure your words and, consider how other people might feel and might react to things you say or things you do or things you don't say and things you don't do. And I think it's very important that we're kind to each other and again empathetic and considerate, and I think it's just a good way to live. It's a good way to be. I've been alive for a while. I'm an old guy, and in this industry, when it comes to the tech space, I'm kind of a dinosaur, but yeah. I have a lot of experience and it makes me wise, and I've learned a lot. And so one of the things that I've learned is that it's really important to be careful how you treat people. Be careful with people, because a lot of people are very sensitive, and words can hurt. And sometimes we say things that in a certain way, and we might come from a certain place as we say them, but people can take them in totally different ways. And I think it's important that
I get it.
In business, we're kind. It's not just about money.
Yeah, I get it. And I definitely learned something today as well. And I learned that even though that there might be like a what's it called, like an oasis or like a dream in the distance. I had a client today that had a contract, signed contracts for this funding. It was a very large amount. Let's say it was really very large, and then he instead opted in because the lender on this file said that we wouldn't be able to fund it until Thursday. We wouldn't be able to fund it until Thursday. So this client of mine actually opted in to take the smaller amount. It was over less than 50% smaller than what we were actually intending on funding him for, and what would have been more beneficial for his business. The larger amount, but he instead opted in to take the smaller amount, which was on a shorter term and on a shorter, smaller funding amount. He instead opted in to take that one just because it was so readily available and we could get it done the same day. And the merchant, the client told me that we need to get it done today, and we need to make sure that we get it done today. Because that's what's really going to make an impact for his business instead of waiting until tomorrow.
Time value of money. Yeah, and I see a lot of business owners that will decline offers that we bring to them, even though these are literally the best offers that they qualify for across the industry, which essentially is what we guarantee. To locate the very best rates and terms that.
Did you have someone decline an offer?
We do a volume business. We have
Yeah.
We have clients that decline offers.
Or
you
they
know.
gotta think about it. They gotta talk to the wife.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, what I've learned is that, you know, if you keep it professional and you keep the doors open and you come from a place of, you know, caring and helping, that 80% of the time, clients will come back. Even if they decline the first offer, sometimes they just need to shop around a little bit to learn, you know, what they qualify for. And eventually they come back because we genuinely offer a service. We do. But yeah, time value of money is huge.
We had a guy come back to us today. Who was it? The one that we funded early in the morning. We funded him. Well, tell us, how did he come back to you? How, like we had that offer on the table for weeks, I believe. Why did he come back to you? Like, how did that work out?
Well, so that's a good question. So I kept in contact with him because I knew for a fact that we had the very best offer that he was going to qualify for, and you know, at the same time, I understood that.
What was the conversation like? I just imagine only for myself, like me coming back to you after I said no, I don't want your services. Me coming back to you is just like such a like an embarrassing thing, like for me to do, that. So why did he come? Like, how was the conversation? Like, why did he come back to you? Like,
well, actually, he said that he had been away for about a week, and he came back and he's like, you know, I've been away for about a week. I got like 4 messages from you. What's going on? I just said, well, listen, you know, bottom line is, I know for a fact we've got the best offer on the table, and so I figured maybe you needed to shop around or, you know, go without growing the business in the manner which we had discussed and we had kind of, you know, planned in our minds and we had shared these goals and, you know, visions and, you know, so at the end of the day, because he didn't want to pay whatever the interest rate that he was offered, and actually we got him like a great deal from a top tier lender, but you know, it wasn't like mortgage rates, and so I think there's a pride aspect to that where he didn't want to, you know, take a loan at a certain rate, which is fine, and we respect that, you know. But the truth is that money is going to help him create more revenue, and it's going to be a real boon to his business. And so he, you know, called me back today and he said, hey Josh, I've been away for a week and, you know, I got a few messages from you, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, I was just, you know, wanted to make sure I kept in contact because I know for a fact we have the best offer that's out there for you. And if you could use the money, I wanted to let you know that, you know, I wasn't upset that you declined the offer. It's your business. You know, to us, it's just a deal sometimes, right? And not just for me, because I try to take a personal, you know, caring approach, but to a lot of guys in the industry, it's just another deal, you know? But to these clients, it's a significant life decision, you know? And so he called me back, and you know, because we kept it professional, we kept the doors open, and we kept in contact. You know, we funded him today, same day, got his money.
Yeah. But I mean, how can you avoid that in the future? If you were someone that's wanting to make sure that they have, I mean, we guarantee the best interest rate on your business loan. But if someone had an offer and let's say a business owner had the offer and they want to come back to it and they get disappointed when it doesn't get done the same day because that's what the expectations are getting higher and higher. But like, let's just say like someone that has an offer from and they know that's the best offer. How would you avoid that in the future to make sure that nothing happens or it doesn't get killed by underwriting? What would you say to make sure that business owner avoids that?
Well, a couple things. So there's nothing that we can do to avoid having a client decline an offer, right? It happens all the time. As long as we know that we're coming forth with the best of what they qualify for, if they decline the offer, at the end of the day, there's really not much we can do. We can try and open the dialogue as far as what they were looking to do with the money, right? Where are they going to be in 6 months from now? If they take the money, where are they going to be in 6 months from now? If they don't take the money, and to avoid losing clients, I think it's just you keep it professional, you keep it coming from a place of authenticity and understanding and wanting to help. And again, if you're keeping it professional and you're being logical and it makes sense, they'll come back.
I was actually referring to the guy that we had yesterday that we needed to have someone to inspect his business address or something like that guy like how does he make sure that in the future we can expedite, or that he can expedite his funding to make sure that he gets it done the same day, because it had to get dragged on because they couldn't find the guys visiting his business, they couldn't find his address or whatever.
Yeah, I mean the bottom line is
they were lost. They didn't have GPS.
So we specialize in same day funding, right? However, it seems like Murphy's Law. There's always something, and so that's why it's going to be a common theme. You're going to hear us mention this a lot of times. If you have a point by which you're looking to receive the funds, don't wait till the last minute. That's the bottom line. Just try to have your ducks in a row, because there's always going to be something. I mean, just Murphy's Law.
I mean, it's not every day that I hear someone wants to get funded in the future. It's usually someone that they want to get funded yesterday.
Yeah. And I mean, look, there are days when there was one time actually when I overslept a little bit, and I'll admit that. It happens. I was a little under the weather, and I came in a little bit late to the office, and Dav had funded a $215,000 deal, and it happened in a couple hours. It was pretty impressive. But that's an exception, not the rule. That's the truth. So yeah, if you have a need for capital, if you have a valid, prudent use for the capital to grow your business, don't wait. Furthermore, sometimes clients will wait until they need the money, and then they can't get it because the revenue fell off a cliff, or because their credit score dropped down, or because just a multitude of reasons, seasonality, and when they did need it, the offer was retracted, unfortunately, or upon a second underwriting, it was no longer an offering to be had. So that's another kind of virtue of business funding, is to use it when you don't need it, because when you do need it, you're going to get rates and terms that are designed for someone that needs it. And it's not us, it's the underwriters. If your revenue is trending down, these guys are not stupid. They're savvy. They see what's going on. They know seasonality of different industries. They look at revenue trends. They look at a multitude of factors. So if you have the use for the capital, if you can use it to build your business, do it. If it's going to make sense, if it's a profitable venture, if it's going to create residual income, new customers, why the hell not? If it's going to make sense financially. And that's really, at the end of the day, nobody knows your business more intimately than you. But I can tell you that I've been consulting high net worth investors. I've been consulting, business owners for over a decade. And I'm here for you to think out loud if it's something that you want to do. If there are questions and concerns that you have on this industry, as far as the private lending or alternative lending space for businesses, or if it's just, really on any level of your business, if there's any questions or concerns that you have, feel free to reach out. We don't charge a fee for our consultation, and we don't charge a broker fee per se. So there's really no commission greed or sales quotas that are fueling your consultation. So that's always a good thing, And you can Google Joshua Gasteronis. You'll see me on the New York Times. You'll see me as being quoted by Reuters UK. You might see some old crazy Facebook, MySpace pictures. It's interesting. But the one thing that you'll never see is, you'll never see anyone with anything disparaging to say about myself or about FunderHunt for that matter. And we work diligently to make sure that is the case, not just today, but in the moving into the future. So in an industry that is highly unregulated, it's good to know that there are people that you can talk to and you can trust, and that value their relationship and the value integrity and character that are there to actually provide a service, and that's us, FunderHunt.
And we're gonna start asking people to like the video.
Yeah, like the video. I don't think you can subscribe.
And share it.
Share it, like it. If you have a friend that's a business owner and can use some additional capital, this industry is so predatory. Do them a favor. Give them our information or just send them to the site. We'd be happy to serve. Love you guys. Have a good night.